What's up, Instagram friends? It is Tuesday, I think. Yeah. Tuesday at 8 o'clock on the East Coast, 5 o'clock on the West Coast, 7 o'clock Central, maybe? What's Mountain? Is the Mountain the same as Central? I don't know. Central and Mountain? Anyway, here we are. I want to thank Goldie, Julia Sharp, for hanging with me last night. That was fun. What a hilarious dude that guy is. Great stories, great trajectory of his life and career. And Reagan Gomez was supposed to join me tonight, but she texted me yesterday early saying she had to switch. She was pitching some things, I think, or had some business going on and no time to mess around with this. So I'm gonna get Reagan on again sometime in the next week or two. Reagan played Roberta on the Cleveland show, and she was Cleveland's stepdaughter. And she's a great lady, great actress, and I look forward to having her on soon. And tomorrow night is Wednesday night. We got Rich Appel from Family Guy and my creating partner on the Cleveland show, along with Seth MacFarlane. And okay, I'll do my Cleveland voice for Darth Panther. Hey, Darth, how you doing? So Rich Appel will be on tomorrow night. And then on Thursday, we are going to have Scott Grimes and his bride, Adrienne Palicki. Both of them will be joining, and that'll be interesting. I haven't had two guests at the same time. So Adrienne, who didn't fall in love with her on Friday Night Lights, and now she's one of the big stars of the Orville, along with Scott Grimes, who I've known for a long time. Scott also works on American Dad as the voice of Steve Smith. And my wife Sarah and I were at their wedding a year ago, and so I'm looking forward to catching up with them on Thursday. But tonight worked out wonderfully. I was going to see if he wanted to join me next week. A guy who I worked with on the Cleveland show, and I remember him doing stand-up way back in the day, in the early 90s when I was first in LA. And he got famous doing the Scream movies. He had the Jamie Kennedy experience or experiment. I can't remember which one it was, but it was hilarious. Anyway, Jamie Kennedy's going to be on here in just a minute. Love Jamie, and he's a great guy and a funny guy. And so we'll talk about where Jamie started and how he got to Hollywood and made it big in the comedy world. So what's up, James Butler? I miss you, man. James Butler used to send me disgusting texts back in the day. Haven't seen any lately. James, come on, man. Got to pick it up. So yeah, man, we talking all about passion. You know what? I'm going to show you guys a joke. I've showed it on here before. Get it? Anyway, this is good to go. Nice. So I got some Dandelion Tea here. It's supposed to be good for digestion, because I had a huge dessert tonight. Had some apple cobbler. No, was it apple cobbler? Yeah, it was apple cobbler. And some vanilla ice cream on there. My friend Jay DeVoe made it. And today is my wife Sarah's and my anniversary. So we hung out today in the yard and had a drink, left the kids in the house, and then ate a little dinner and rested up for just a minute. And now I'm rallying to do this because I stay up late. I see Jamie Kennedy maybe jumping on this thing in just a second. So we'll talk about passion tonight. We'll talk about what we're doing in these times and how we're dealing and what we're thinking about. And, it's all different, man. I tell you, each day seems different. I just want to do cool stuff. All right, James Butler, send me some special anniversary pictures. Don't worry. All right, great. Hey, JV, that's my mother-in-law. Love you, JV. And, this is nice. Somebody says I'm amazing. And view of Davis. Thank you for all I've done and I'm going to do. And thank you for having all my favorites on live with you. Hope you and your family are doing amazing. P.S. Congrats. Hey, thank you. That's very nice. Hey, Jamie Kennedy. Jamie Kennedy. I'm gonna put this sucker on. Jamie will be on here in 3, 2, 1. I guess I missed. Uh-oh. Hopefully he's not.
Oh,
Whoa!
yeah.
What's up, dude?
Federline.
Federline Jones. Oh, Federline.
Federline gonna let it all grow out.
Oh, Federline. You're looking grizzly.
Yeah, you never know when you have to like roll up on somebody, during COVID. You know what I mean? So like you don't want them to catch you and nothing. So like, you like it's like a mask, but like my face. You know what I'm saying?
I like it. I like it. You remind me of when we had a Thanksgiving episode where Federline. So Jamie Kennedy, everyone. Jamie played Federline Jones, the kind of white wannabe rapper boyfriend of Roberta Tubbs.
He was definitely a rapper. He didn't want to be. He was legit.
All right. But I remember you guys had some encounters with homelessness.
The homelessness.
I don't know what made me think of that, but
what do you mean? People say I look like Bradley Cooper, but homeless?
Okay.
All right.
All right. I like it.
I just did it. Dude, I miss you. Virtual hug.
I miss you, brother.
I'm eating my bone broth, bro.
Yeah?
Yeah, anytime I get a little bit of weirdness, sniffle, whatever, bone it up. Bone it up. You broth it up.
That sets you straight?
Yeah, broth it up.
Now, is that a West Coast thing you picked up when you were out there, or was this a Mama's Home remedy back in the day?
West Coast! No, dude, I'm just like, anything like is whatever I can do. I'm just like, the sun is so nice. Like, I'm looking at you right now, how you're still like wintered up. Dude, it's 85 here.
Not wintered up. It was 70 today, but yeah.
You're living.
I threw this on. It's this is my on-air stuff, that's what I wear.
Wait, we on the air?
Yeah, I don't know.
We deep in it?
I think so. So you're eating bone broth. So you're out in LA?
I'm here. I was literally in New York.
Oh, good.
In the intestines of, like, if you want to get corona, if you want to really try to get it, go right. Literally, I was staying at like 43rd Street. Okay. I had a show. After my show, me and fellow comedian Judy Miller, we were doing an event, and then we were like having a steak, and we're like, there's like 4 people at Mastro's tonight, and we're like, what? We know it's bad, but is it? Next thing you know, Tom Hanks, NBA, boom. We're like, what? Boom. Changed everything. 5 a.m. Was like worried for 2 weeks. Felt pretty good now, and I was like, people were like, go to Hawaii, go this. I was like, I kind of want to be in my command center, and LA has been amazing because, except for a few people that think that they don't need a mask, it's been, dude, Miami has had a murder in 7 weeks, and in LA, it's a record, and LA is, I don't know what's going on, but I think it's pretty chill. I mean, it's dead after 5 o'clock.
Yeah.
So it's been pretty great, and I'm just not.
Do you live in the hills, or where do you live?
Ish by Griffith Park.
Okay.
You know where that is up there?
Yep.
But people need to go. Yeah, they need to go out and jog and do that. So it's like, but they're pretty good with the mask. Yeah.
No, I think for the most part, I'm in Virginia. I'm in Richmond, Virginia, and for the most part, everybody's pretty much on it here as well.
Yeah.
So, so you know all about recording the shows. Family Guy has not stopped. So I
really, I'm not surprised.
I ordered a microphone, and so now I have like a really good microphone, and I got to test it out, and so I'll be recording in my house. So I haven't done that before. I usually go to a studio right nearby. But
so not to go off topic, but the new normal is what this is, because Trolls, there's a big article today about Trolls, the movie.
Okay.
The sequel has made more money than the original in like 2 weeks.
Yeah.
And it's just like Hollywood is completely 180ing it. And I think this is the way. And I mean, you can there. I mean, what's the difference between here and going to Culver City? You got it set up anyway. So why not just do it?
Yeah, it's true. And, I mean, obviously a strange time, and It's sort of, for me, and I think for a lot of people I've talked to, it is sort of boiling down. You're peeling away all the affectation of your whole life and sort of realizing right now what's important, and what you want to do moving forward, and what you're doing now. We don't know what's going to be like moving forward. So I just thought, let me get some friends on here and talk about. I think there are a lot of people out there, Jamie, that wonder how you get from here to there. Like I grew up in Virginia. I think you grew up near Philly, correct? And then
Right outside.
How do you get from here to killing it in Hollywood and working out there and doing what you love? So let's talk about like when you were growing up. Now, obviously, I got to peg you as a class clown. Like what was your deal? Like when did you first realize that you were kind of funny and like to show off a little bit? Like when was that? And yeah, talk about that.
I was the youngest of 6 kids. Can I do?
Catholic.
Can I go deeper? Can I go darker on this?
Let's hear it.
Well,
yeah.
I mean, like, my mother had me when she was 42 years old. Like, I always tell that might explain some of the Asperger's.
Okay.
My mom had 2 miscarriages before me.
Okay.
Some people call me the third.
The third, yeah.
Yeah, so
that's a comedy. Yes. The comedians watching were right.
But I literally was like an afterthought. Everyone was like a year, half a year, or 2 years apart. And I was like 7 years between me and my last. So I was not planned. I was the last down the chute.
Yeah.
And
talk to me about the shoot. I'm just kidding. Keep going.
Dude, everybody out there, one of the funniest people ever is on top of me right there.
Oh shit. Thanks, dude. Back at you.
Yeah, I love you. And Catholic school. So I already was born whatever I am, like how you know me. So forget that. Forget all that bullshit. You know me as that. So I kind of still think I'd be going in the booth with you if you met me when I was 5 and we would record and then doing pranks.
Sure.
And then throw the last baby in, throw middle class, looking for food, but not broke, but middle class, powdered milk type of shit.
Yeah.
Throw in Catholicism,
Oh.
deep on it, priest, telling you, hey, good job today at Mass, giving you a little ass slap. You're thinking, is that, nothing terrible, just a little,
Come
little
on
massage.
Now. Don't tease me.
Don't tease me. And then just throw that up and throw Philly on top of it. And you're just, it's a combination of, Timberland boots, mixed messages.
Yeah.
And you're getting, by the time you're 12, you're getting yours. It's like kill or be killed. So if you're not boxing, you're not karateing, you're not killing it in sports, what are you?
Right.
You're just arming people with fucking jokes real quick.
Yeah, yeah.
And so, Jackie Gleason's book says it the best. He goes, there wasn't an unfunny. What happened?
I'm going to write that down. I would love to know. I don't know the Jackie Gleason book.
The Jackie Gleason book is amazing. He says, there wasn't an unfunny kid in Brooklyn.
How do you spell book? All right.
And it's like, it's so true because my neighborhood, there was a ton of guys and girls that were funny. Some of them are dead. Some of them are in jail. Some of them went the dorky way and became successful. And some of them are like me. But like my neighborhood, not in my neighborhood, but Tina Fey is from that area. Sherry O'Terry, Kevin Bacon. I mean, Kevin's not exactly a total comedian, but I mean, he's a great actor. So I don't know. So it was either like yay or nay. Does that make sense?
Yeah, sure.
And everything was bullshit by the time I was 11, 12. I was just like, this is stupid. And then I had not to go long, but I had a teacher, not even like that encouraging, but he did comedy.
Right.
So he would go down and he would do a couple spots a week at the comedy factory outlet in Philly. And he, to me, was, Rodney Dangerfield. And he told me about it, and he's like, that's how you start open mics. And when I was 15, I started getting that bug in my head. I had no idea. He didn't encourage me or anything, but he's like, this is what you do. You're not going to make it, but you get a fucking job, and you go out, you work on your impressions, and you go and you sign up.
Right. So you started doing open mics in high school then?
No,
Were you aware of them?
I was aware of them, and I really wanted to quit high school. I hate high school. I hate school. And I seen different actors from my neighborhood that you would know now. Like Seth Green was from not my neighborhood, but from Philly, and he was was a huge Pepsi commercial in the late 70s, early 80s.
Yeah.
With all the dogs. You might remember it. That was Seth Green. He was like the kid with the puppies, and he was like known around as the kid in the puppies. And it was huge. And I was like, how do you do that? And I didn't know him or anything. And I thought, and then they said, you got to take classes. And my mom wouldn't let me take anything. And then long story short,
why?
I started, because she was like, what are you doing? You're not an actor.
You heard my shoot?
On the way out, I was clinging. Long short is,
don't let me be born in Philly. Just holding on. Right.
So she just didn't get it, and then I went through the school bullshit. And when I was done, I started working at Domino's.
Okay.
And it's so funny. I do this thing where I'm on these live chats. I'm always looking at myself. I'm such a fucking narcissist.
Hey, why wouldn't you?
And so
not bad.
Seriously, dude, I miss you.
Right.
So
I'm looking at myself. That's what I'm talking about.
Appreciate it. Anyway, long crazy story. My friend's mom's a local theater actress. I started to meet people.
Okay.
Long story short is, she said, you can start by being an extra. A movie came to town, and she says, I bet you can be an extra, but you got to wear this, shut up, go down, fucking hold your hands, and just say yes to everything they say. And I said, okay. I went to Delaware.
Just like talking to the priest, but go ahead.
Yeah, a priest, right? But at least it's on a set.
Right.
And so, I mean, if you're going to get diddled, you might as well get diddled with craft service.
Come on, man.
Hey, man.
Stop it.
And then
You're crazy. That's crazy talk.
I go, I meet a person, an AD. Can you do this? Yep. I was hired.
Assistant director, AD.
AD. 3 days.
That's enough to get SAG, correct? Was it a SAG project?
Enough to like sniff around it.
Okay.
Long short, the movie was called Dead Poet Society.
Nice.
Insane, bro. So I was literally an extra in Dead Poet Society. The first thing I ever did, because my mom's friend was literally a featured extra, where Robin Williams looks at her and says something, and she's like, that.
Right.
And that was huge stardom. And then literally I was at craft service, like on set, eating a baby carrot, and Robin Williams is like, ooh, hummus. Is there any more hummus? Like I'm literally like, and then that was it. I got, literally, dude, the bug, divine intervention, the feeling, done. And I'm like, this is it. Nothing else.
How old were you?
18.
18. All right.
Yeah.
So you could vote. Go to war or go to Hollywood.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So
be an extra.
Okay. So wait. So now, then did you go? So your home life, your mom. Were your parents supportive of like, what are you gonna do?
No. Okay. And God rest their soul. They're not with us anymore. God rest their soul. But they lived a good life. No, they're 86, 89. They were beautiful.
I mean, Jamie, I saw your post the other day. I forgot. I'm sorry. And now I'm joking about the shoot. No, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. She's laughing. It's got to be funny.
How is that shoot operating now? Bro, about 86 and 89. Come on, I can't. It's at some point there's a date on the carton. It's like, okay, it's we did it.
Yeah.
I'm lucky. So long short is, my dad was like an artist more in a sense of, he's like, you got personality. He sounds like Foghorn Leghorn. That's another whole long story. He's like, you can charm people. You go out there. And he literally told me this when I was 9. He's like, you could charm a girl right out of her drawers. And I was like, what? Why you going to keep stuff in drawers? Drawers, what is that? He's like, you'll get it someday. And he told me that I was always charming, but he's like, I don't know how you're going to get money from me, but you're charming. And my mom is just a worker bot. Do this, fold your hands, talk to don't look at a priest in the eye, get a job, make $4.25 an hour. Maybe you can become a manager of Red Lobster, and then work your way up to a district manager. We can manage too. Like that shit was her. You know what I'm saying?
Right. So no real support for the creative endeavor. Nah,
they had no idea. You know what I mean? And so I told them. So I saved up $1,500, and I said, I'm going to Hollywood. You can't stop me. Come after me. And they said, okay, we'll go and try it. And if not, you do have a place here, which was nice. They just didn't get it. My dad was like, he's gonna go. You can't stop him. He's legal.
Right.
And so I went out there
Barely.
with, you know, $1 and a dream, and then I tried to become an extra.
Okay. And so what year was this? Like the 1990-ish? 91?
89, son.
Okay. Okay. So we talked about this a couple years ago. Remember we went and had some food over there on 3rd Street?
Over at the Starbucks or the Baja Fresh?
No, it was some little spot. I can't remember what it was called. It was on 3rd Street there near La Cienega. But we were chowing down, and we started talking because when I moved to LA in 1990, I took the Judy Carter stand-up comedy workshop. And
the OG. I saw her, by the way. She says hi. I saw her before COVID. Yeah, legend. Go ahead.
Really? Okay. Very nice lady. You know, set it up nice. She wrote a book, and then you'd sign up for the class, and you'd go get up in front of the class for 5 minutes every week for 6 weeks. And then at the end of that, you get up in front of a club where everybody brought their friends and family. And so I met Chris Frangiola there, and we were in the same class, and Rich Hanrahan, who we talked about.
Oh, one of the OGs.
Yeah, Rich Hanrahan was a sweet soul, and he died a couple years later.
God rest his soul. He would tell the people. Or, he died.
He took his own life, and he was
hilarious guy.
Hilarious guy. And
hilarious on stage. Sweet guy. Yeah. Just a troubled soul. Oof.
Yeah, and I remember because we went to do some stand-up show, some open mic. So after the Judy Carter workshop, it's like, okay, now you got to go do open mics and work on your act, and then you want to work in at the Improv with Mark Lawnow, or you know, whatever the deal was. And so we went to a thing, and you were like the big cheese because you were doing like real gigs, and you stopped by this open mic to work some stuff out. And I remember Rich was saying, "Hey, Jamie Kennedy, yeah." So that put you on my radar. And so
what year was that?
That was 91, and I would see you around. I noticed you a couple times, and then I loved, and we'll get to it later, but I love was it the Jamie Kennedy Experience? Experiment. See, that's what I just said in the opening. I couldn't remember.
Thank you for being a fan, but thank you.
You know what? You know what I am? You know what I am, Jamie? I'm fucking honest.
Yeah.
I forgot what it was called. I loved it.
I love it. The show that we did, Clarence.
The Clarence show.
Clarence show is incredible.
Right. And you were great as Fuad.
Frankenline.
No.
Floyd.
No, I'm honest, man. I love that show. And I do remember that you X'd people. So how's that? So you were on my brain and
on the radar.
So
I made the Henry brothers radar. People don't know about your brother, but you and your brother were a duo.
My brother Patrick and I, we did a lot of short films back in the day.
And you're like, there's the big cheese over there. At that time, I was probably doing like Tony Roma's, because that was a good gig. It was like $75 and a meal.
Was that in the Valley?
That was one in the Universal C. There was also a Radisson in Woodland Hills. There was a old school Howard Johnson's in North Hollywood. It was called something else. I forget.
Okay.
And then if I would get a guest spot at the Improv maybe once every week, that was considered. So I was probably doing those.
Oh, yeah.
Those 3-minuters.
Yeah. Good. No, I mean, you were
time.
The guy. You were
Tony Romas.
You were a notch above where we were. We wanted to be that. So all right. So you moved. You know, I'm talking with Jamie Kennedy, my buddy. I've known for how long? 15 years, maybe. About 12, 13 years. So
12 since the show, but we met. Like, that's crazy. I didn't know any of that. We met a lot of people on that circuit.
Oh yeah. No, I was laying so low, man. I was just all ears. I was taking it all in. I wasn't even putting myself out there much.
Did you do Cow's End?
Yeah, where is that?
Did you ever do Patterson's? Those were all the open mics.
And the Coffee Roasters on
Coffee
Venice.
Roasters was the shit, dude.
Yeah,
that
on
was
Washington.
a good spot.
Yeah. So, all right. So talk to people. You know, I think some of my friends, other people are watching who, you know, like wonder how you get from like where we live or a small town to working in Hollywood. So you moved to LA. Did you know anyone out there? Were you 20 years old? How old were you?
I was just literally turned 19. like literally like a day or two after.
So
What's crazy is
you drove your old beat up used car out there, or what?
No, I flew.
Okay.
So it's so funny that you're doing this with like in the middle of a pandemic. It's like Hollywood's changed. All of these rules are going to be different now.
Right.
Well, I got crazy stories, and it's like it would be 9 episodes, but I'll give you the simplest. But I agree with you. I always want to know how people do it. So I literally saved up money. I have to understand is I never lived a life until I moved to Hollywood. And I just I had no idea what I wanted to do. Like, I'm not like one of these noble people who was like, I want to be a comedian. I never, ever wanted to be a comedian, or I want to be an actor. I never thought of any of that shit. You know what I wanted? Attention. Okay.
Yeah.
And I was a pretty good mimic. Like, I would do voices and people would be like, do that again, and do that again, and do that again. And I would
like who? Who were your go-tos back then?
Just like my mom's friends or teachers.
Okay.
You know, and I think like the first impression I ever got down was kind of, I'll try to do it now, was like Sean Connery, which is your basic hack one, was like, good morning, Mrs. Moneypenny. You know, something, I had like a dirty Sean Connery, got my plans, you know, something like whatever. That's what you work on.
Right.
And then like, or I would do like my mom had a British friend. And right, it's James this morning. Oh, he's fantastic. Oh, yes.
That's dynamite, too. That's good.
Well, you know, like however you discover you can mimic people.
Sure.
And then I had no idea what I wanted to do. I didn't think of anything. And I thought, here's what I always tell people is that you need a health. This is the truth for me. Okay, everyone has their own truth. See, I'm so open-minded hippie now.
Sure.
Is that, and you can't there's so many things I want to say, I'm going to try to focus. You can't quote him anymore, but he was one of the great people that had great messages, was a guy by the name of Dr. Huxtable. And he was from the Philadelphia area.
Right.
And he started doing comedy at 25.
Right.
And he would pay $1 a day to take a shower.
Oh.
And he was making $2 a night emceeing. I know where you're going with this. And he would do shows every night. He became the house MC at the Bitter End, which was in New York, which is the OG.
Yeah.
And I started at 19, and I went to LA. And my friends like, I'll go to LA with you. And I'm going to go out there because I'll get a job at a Taco Bell. I just think it's cool that you're going.
Right.
So he came out and I went out and we went on and we shared a little tiny apartment, and I had my savings. And the first thing I did was get a job, and I got a job at Red Lobster.
Yeah, I remember this. I remember hearing about this.
But I went to Bill Cosby for a second because here's why. He started at 25.
Right.
I had 6 years on him. And and what I tell people is that you need a healthy amount
of cough syrup.
you need a healthy amount of neediness or insecurity mixed with a healthy amount of delusion.
Okay.
So a lot of people, you ever hear people say this? Well, I'm going to go to a coffee shop and I'll give myself like 6 months or a year. And if someone discovers me, I would do it. But I'm not going to, you know. Right. There was nothing for me to go back to.
Yeah.
I was already at Domino's, you know.
Yeah. So Uncle Owen and Aunt Beru were dead.
Yeah. So when I read that, Bill Cosby, one of the things he said was, you will not ever do this career. It will do you. God, I know there's something in there. And it's true. I got done by it. I couldn't stop thinking about it. Mm-hmm. And I realized, I said, I'm going to give myself, most people come out and say, I'll give myself a year. I said, I'm going to give myself 10 years.
Good.
And I said, I think in 10 years, I can probably get a commercial or I could say a line. If I can't get a commercial in 10 years, I should reconsider what I'm going to do in life.
There you go.
So So that's a healthy amount of like delusion, because it's a lot of time. And
that is a lot of time.
And
let me just say, a couple people have chimed in here that they've just joined. I'm talking with Jamie Kennedy, and he is talking about making the leap from Philadelphia, the Philadelphia area, to LA, and taking his shot at showbiz right when he turned 19. So most people say, you know, I'm going to give it a year. That's probably the typical one, or 3 years, whatever. You were just not gonna rule anything out for 10 years.
Well, because the people, you can't bring them up again, but you know who I said? Joan Rivers and Madonna. Say whatever you want. Madonna said, how dare you have a fallback plan?
Exactly.
It takes you 48 hours in a day when there's only 24 to become a global icon. He goes, you don't try to be a doctor and have a fallback plan of being a lawyer. There is no fallback plan. And these things hit me at very young, and I was like,
that's good.
And I didn't give a fuck about security. I don't give a fuck about it.
Right.
It was more fun for me being on a set. The excitement of that was so exciting to me. And so I didn't give
whatever it takes.
Fuck.
Yeah. I'd never had a fallback either. And it took me 8 years, actually. And from the time that I left Virginia to go out to LA and find my way, and, until Family Guy hit 8 years later. I mean, I had successes along the way where I'd book commercials here and there, or get paid to go shoot stuff and, whatever. But it took a while. And I had my, I've talked about this before, I had my 10,000 hours in when I got the call for Family Guy.
Huge thing. Totally agree with that. 10,000 hours is huge.
Yeah, we were, hey, Jamie, I don't know if you heard, it's my anniversary today. My wife, Sarah, and I, we were...
Congratulations.
Hey, thank you. And we were just listening to some Paul McCartney over dinner, just an old show. And I just remember that story from The Outliers, that book that talks about the 10,000 hours, Malcolm Gladwell. Like, the Beatles just played at a mall, basically, for years.
They did it in about Germany. 2.5 years because it was a strip club.
Oh, was it?
They were the house band. Yeah, and they did it like 10 hours a day, and they just played.
Right. Yeah. And so you got to put in the work. You got to do the open mics. You got to do the grind. You got to manage at a Red Lobster. Were you managing the Red Lobster? No, just a server. Were you a server?
I try to stay focused because there's so many details. It's not a one thing. It's a 20-hour thing. But here's an example. So I got a job at a Red Lobster, which was highly competitive.
Yes.
It's on Ventura and Coldwater. It was called I think it was a Twain's on Coldwater. Now it's a Sharky's.
Okay.
And
I was the bowling alley. Is there a bowling alley right there?
Past that.
Okay. All right. Go ahead.
And it's no longer there, and I applied. I just started walking. This is the late 80s. I just walked up and down and applied everything for entry-level jobs, whatever. Right. Got Red Lobster. Waiter was like a huge job.
Oh, yeah.
Host was like, so I got a job as a busboy. Okay. And that was competitive. But the thing about it was I got the job, literally I had my check to make $4.20 an hour. Yeah. And along with my savings and that, I figured I would have enough for about a year. And I would have myself of a year of doing meaningful jobs and figuring it out. And I had to get another job. I had to get 2 jobs. Here's why that Red Lobster was so amazing.
Someone picked up on $4.20 an hour. Somebody just...
It wasn't, though, but thank you. I didn't even say that. Famous people. Yeah. Famous people would come in there, and it would freak me the fuck out.
So famous people would come into the Red Lobster.
I know. And
who was it?
You don't expect.
Who?
Well, my first big one was Bud Bundy.
Okay.
Bud Bundy, Married Children was killing it. That dude would roll in every every week with a new hot 20-year-old. He would roll up deep. Bud, he was America's son. Yeah. And I was like, that's Bud Bundy. Like, I couldn't. He was the man. David Faustino.
He knew where to take the ladies.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
The next one was Arsenio.
Nice.
Arsenio was always there. And I was like, and I was always rolling up on him.
Yeah.
And then I talked about it later when I got famous, and he told me, he kind of remembered me. Remember, he would come out and go, "And now, for a man."
Oh yeah.
Remember all that? My first like dumb joke was like,
Arsenio,
Arsenio,
it was
how
a
would
lot
you
of
bring
fingers.
I said, did you ever think of like, if you had like, you know, you'd bring out like somebody who's like a dignitary, would you bring them out the same way? I'm like, and now, a man. He's got funny little hats. Give it up.
Right.
For Pope John Pope. You know, like
exactly.
It was funnier in the late 80s.
Yeah, no. And Bill Clinton went on his show, and that's how Bill Clinton.
Bill went on. This is pre-saxophone. And then the third person I met was, damn it, I gotta put a thing on. Dude, was the sister of the middle sister on Give Me a Break.
Okay. Sweet.
And her sister worked with me.
Oh, okay.
And she was so sweet to me. And she took me swimming at her sister's house. Introduced me to her sister, which was incredible. Okay. And was like, yo, this is I'm like, she had a black bottom pool, dope house in Studio City. And I was like, and her sister was on TV at that time. And I was like, and she was nice. And she didn't, I didn't really ask her too much about Hollywood, but she's like, yeah, this is how you do it. And there's a paper called the Drama Log. And there's something called Backstage. And boom, like, I got to meet somebody on TV. Oh my God, Siri's like blowing up. This is weird, dude.
Check it out.
Siri literally starts giving me stuff now, dude. It's weird. So
turn her off, man.
With long story short is, and that was incredible. That, you know, and to this day I love her, and I owe her, and I owe, you know, David Faustino, because he was encouraging, and Arsenio too. Arsenio was like one to eat, but he was cool to me, and just meeting those people was enough, and seeing and knowing their backstory, and going and touching her appliances and being in her pool, and she's like, I started out as a waitress, and I was like, okay, this is doable. It's a road, but it's doable. But I was but literally I started.
Oh yeah, at the bottom. Yeah, when I moved to LA, I got a job at the Gap and the Nature Company at the Century City Mall, just leading up to Christmas, because I went out there in September, and I had to fill a few months. I needed to make some money and figure out what the hell I was going to do. And then I waited tables, and I waited tables at the Daily Grill in Brentwood. You got me, buddy? Can you hear me?
That's a big.
All right, now I don't hear you.
Yeah, I'm sorry. My battery's like that. Huh?
All right, you good now?
I'll get back. Okay, that's a good. By the way, you're like high ending it. That was a good gig.
Yeah, I aimed high, and I waited on OJ and Nicole. I waited on. That's the best one. I'm not even gonna bother saying any others, but yeah, it was. Guy had a vibe about him. I wasn't 100% on the authenticity of this man at the time, but I'll leave it at that. So, but yeah, so all right, so you're doing all this. You're not super. You're. I'd say you're ambitious as far as what you wanted. Your open-mindedness, and that you're ready to work hard, but you weren't real ambitious on the time frame. So what did you just start doing stand-up at night immediately?
No. The first year, my friend came and my friend left. Then I had to get roommates. Mm-hmm. And basically, I had no idea. I was just living. So the first year, I was working at Red Lobster. I was doing catering. These are all jobs you would just go in the penny saver. Mm-hmm. And free internet. And I was also working with a play called Tamara, which was on High Boulevard, and it was an old army barracks thing, and they did an interactive play.
Okay.
And I got a job there as a wine pourer. And that was cool because there were people in the play that were actors, and then two were famous. Again, I was behind the scenes. One was Lonnie Burr, who he was in the first Mickey Mouse Club. So that, again, I basically just saw, Cary Grant. I was like, this is incredible. Mickey Mouse Original Club. And the second one, who was in the play, dude, was Lisa Zane.
Mm-hmm.
And Lisa Zane was a great actress, and was in the movie with Rob Lowe in the late 80s. Remember it? Where Rob Lowe had sex.
One where he was beaten off in the hotel room.
Yeah.
Oh no, that was a stolen video, I think.
Time that came out. But anyway, so like the first year was me gathering up money and just reading stuff. I had no idea. I had no fucking idea.
Right.
You're making like, man, I didn't know we were doing a master class. So
no, now we're you know what we're doing? We're just talking about shit.
I know.
Well, I mean, when's the last time you talked like this? I mean,
it's good. I'm trying to remember it. But
yeah.
All I did was read these papers, and I didn't know what a headshot was.
Right.
I didn't know what an audition was.
All right. Did you go to Isgo Lapesian to get reprints of your headshot? All right, never mind. That's a 0.2% joke, but never mind.
Like, the first year was literally figuring it out, and just also pay rent, pay a water bill, all that shit.
Yeah.
And then I really started to figure this out of what to do, and it was the headshots, the creepy photographers.
Yeah.
Paying this guy to pay that guy, all of that, the seminars, paying to meet a casting speaker late at night in their pool house, that weird.
So you got to LA, you were 19, you sort of grounded yourself a little bit with this job, and then you started looking out at the biz. You realized you needed headshots, you needed exposure, you needed acting experience. So you take acting. What's that?
One. Then the next thing you need is a resume.
Yeah. You just make shit up.
Why? So at that play, I met a bunch of aspiring actors, and I met a really hot girl by the name of Rhonda, and her dad was a recur on a show, Kate and Allie.
Uh-huh. Sure.
He was a dentist.
Oh, great.
And again, that's, to me, De Niro. And
it
was like, you want to be an extra? And I was like, yeah. And she's like, don't do that. You want to be an actor. And I'm like, well, how do you even do that? And she hit me to the game of the headshot, the resume, what to say, guest star.
Get an agent.
And she's like, here's the shows that they'll never check on. You can just lie. And so she helped me put about 30 lies on my resume.
Perfect.
Then buy the book at the place called Samuel French.
Absolutely.
Start mailing them out. Out of that, get 2 responses.
Yeah.
Then want to see tape. So then you got to fake a tape. How do you get a tape? They don't want a bullshit tape. So that's when I started looking deep in the back of the drama log. And there was something called student films.
Yeah, so Dramalog was an acting publication that would kind of give you a heads up on how to connect with people to act and stuff.
Came out once a week. It was like 95.
I used to call it. I do a lot of shit jokes. So I used to call it the Drop-a-log.
And dude, and then you know what? I started doing student, like really low student films, and then I got in a USC film. And then I watched a USC grad film. So, like, this is over time, but literally anyone would film me. You have to understand, this. There was no internet.
No.
I had to get a pager. So
people didn't have video cameras either.
You had to drop it off at a dub house, all that stuff. So the first couple years was all of that. And then I learned how to crash auditions, did non-union. So there's a lot in there before. Again, it would take you 10 hours how to do it.
Sure. So what was your? I know what your huge break was, but what got you to Scream? How did you? What were the stepping stones from doing all this to getting Scream?
Tons of like trial and error.
You say error?
One of the things you have to do is you have to you have to do it yourself.
Yeah.
No one cares about you. I always tell that there's a great shirt that says LA don't want you. I love that shirt.
Yeah.
Because LA don't want you. LA
Nope.
don't give a fuck about you, right?
Yeah.
And
yeah.
people talk about, oh, they're making money over here? Okay. Anybody we know or we respect, Seth, 100%. It was his baby. Owen Wilson, he wrote his way in.
Bottle Rocket. Yeah.
And so it doesn't want to. Even Ben Stiller, you could say his parents were entertainers. He had to write his own shit.
Yes. Thank you for saying this, because I've talked about this a lot, and I was doing the same thing.
You have to. And so...
You know what, Jamie? I don't mean to cut you off. When I was doing... I did very little stand-up. I did it for about 2 years, and I was never that serious about it. I had a couple nice sets at the Improv, one in Santa Monica and one on Melrose. And I realized I needed to get out of town and shoot some shit. I needed to make a tape of like stuff that I could show people, because I'm not going to get discovered at 10:50 on a Wednesday night at the Coffee Roasters. I need to go and shoot stuff that I knew how to do, and I knew exactly what I wanted it to look like. And so I did it. And that's what I say is, like, to people, like, you just got to fucking do it. You can't just talk about it or wish you did it. You just got to fucking do it. Jamie, where'd you go, my friend? Oh, there he is, sort of. All right, you going? Okay. I think you're going from Wi-Fi router to Wi-Fi router. Are you going to land on one here? Talk. You there? Oh, now I can't hear you. Oh, Jamie, what an experiment this is. What an experience. Have I been X'd? Are you X'd? Oh, man. All right, he'll be back. What a great guy. Definitely a hard worker, man. He put in the time. He, you know, like we talk about, you got to go just freaking do it. I love that he just had a chip on his shoulder the entire time, and here he is, and just found a way. That's really what it is, just finding a way, and you have to just do it. So, there he is.
Wait, I heard you say you gotta fucking do it. Sorry.
Hey, Federline. So, there's your bone broth. I don't want to see the bone, but the broth looks good. What's that?
Well, I have a comment on what you were saying.
Yes. No, it's just, you just got to find a way and I always just say, make your own stuff. Do it. Make it. Figure it out.
100%. Like, no one wants you. No one cares about you. This town somebody said this is not mine, but it's the greatest book. This is a town of imitators, not innovators.
Totally.
And no one cares about you. They're very bullshitty and fake and shallow. But I believe that's around the world too. People are like that. I think it's a bad rap. But the town of followers. Oh, over there. It's shiny. They're all kittens.
Right.
Ooh, shiny.
Right.
And, you know, it's like...
We want the next thing that's really hot right now. The thing that's really hot right now, we want to do something in that vein.
Yes. And what, like, that's why I take about, they talk about this term in social media and stuff. It's like, well, this person's not relevant. And it's like, relevant is different. What about good? You know, just because some quote unquote relevant with, you know, review, like, you know, with followers doesn't mean they're good. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, sorry about that. So,
Jamie, do you meditate?
No.
What do you do to blow off steam or just settle your mind down? You don't know? All right, because I'm going to go on a big thought here, okay? I got to meet David Lynch, you know, because he played the Gus the bartender on the Cleveland show. Oh, that's some brothy broth right there.
Oh yeah.
And so he turned me on to meditation, and he turned me on to the whole world is just a unified field of consciousness. Are you familiar with this concept?
Kind of like, yeah, we're all like.
Well, here
people
you
that
go.
are close to almost that's their thoughts.
if everyone is, if the world is all connected, which it is, if you start acting on what it is that you feel like you need to do or want to do, it's not going to be easy at first, but you keep pushing it, and the rest of the world will accommodate to make room for that energy that you're putting out, okay? And that direction that you're going. Are you following this?
Yeah.
Jamie, someone's saying that you're the biggest stoner there is. Is this true?
I'm not funny. I'm
Okay.
not. People think I am, but I do have a couple edibles in here, but I don't want to be paranoid right now.
Yeah, yeah. No, I'm with you. I'm with you on that. So anyway, if you start doing it, the shit will happen over time. At some point, you will make progress and you will see the way. And if you keep going, you'll get where you want to be.
Yeah, I totally agree with that. And I literally believe like this. Let's just take the dumbest example of what you're saying. Look at this broth.
Yeah.
I want broth.
You got it.
I did it. Now, you're going to say, oh, well, the acting job's not in front of you. But if you focus on it, you will take steps. I believe in energy and inertia. And so the act of doing something puts you in the right direction to getting one little goal to the next little goal, to the next little goal. So it's literally momentum. And I'm going to tell you this. I don't want to go down the rails, but you can follow. Do you know, long, short, you ever see Exit Through the Gift Shop?
No.
Oh, man.
All right, I'm writing it down.
Mandatory. Okay.
I've heard of this. What is it?
It's all about Banksy. People say it's actually Banksy. And so...
Well, I haven't heard of that. Okay.
By the way, any Zoom calls, this is my favorite one so far during pandemic. So please, I want to become a Senate regular. So Exit Through the Gift Shop is basically about Banksy and street art. And you never know who Banksy is. Did Banksy produce it? Is he behind?
Oh, yes. Okay.
I know Mr. Whatever, because his assistant used to hang out here too. I forget her name. He then copied Banksy. There's a guy named Alec Monopoly now who's blowing up. There's all these people. So Shepard Fairey, do you know who that is?
Yep.
So all the street art in LA, the stuff you see posted on, signed, you know what it is. So sure. Shepard Fairey was the guy that would do like, you ever see like little Space Invader tiles on buildings?
Sure.
It's a guy named Peter. So Shepard Fairey was the guy behind Obey.
Yeah. Andre the Giant.
Obey. Yeah. Obey was from They Live, the Roddy Piper in the 80s. And he took a picture of Andre the Giant when he at the time looked like Harvey Weinstein. And he just started putting Obey stickers on. Started with a bench. He started with a pole. Then he put one like a Mel's Diner on Sunset. Then he would put one, the Hollywood Bowl. You start seeing them, right?
Yeah.
He was like, oh, this is interesting. So then he would like go to New York. He'd put one in Times Square, whatever. He'd go do an art show in Paris. He'd put one on the Louvre. And so just these little popular places, he would pop it. And he said, I created something called perceived importance. Because, there it is. That's a drop of log. It's basically by people seeing this thing in important areas, in few places repetitively.
Right.
What is this? What is this? Because I would see it, go to auditions. What the fuck is that? What is that? He eventually became a lot of things, but his biggest one was Change for Obama. That was Shepard Fairey.
Yes.
Long short is, he said, no one knew who I was broke, but by doing this, I created a buzz underground of who the fuck is this guy, because how are they popping up in South Africa? How are these popping up? Whether he paid someone to do it, it doesn't matter. And that is an example on a big plane of what you're saying, David. I want to give you the human example of it. Is Kim Kardashian.
Right.
Kim Kardashian, I remember when she used to be Paris's assistant. and she wanted to be famous. And Paris, you know, kind of through the ropes. And I remember I was in an event in like '08 or something, and she was starting to blow up. And I left, and she wanted to get a picture on this tiny magazine, and I was going to be in it with her. And I was like, I couldn't stay. I had to go to this other thing. And she's like, well, okay. Well, you missed a good picture with Kim. And I was like, fuck. And my friend said, you still want to take the picture? Because it's just a little magazine. She goes, I want to be in every magazine that's ever printed.
All right.
And I believe it. And she had no ego. She knew what she wanted. She wanted, I don't know her, but she wanted everywhere. And if you remember, there was nothing too small for her. She would do anything.
Yeah.
And whatever, her goal, she's a human example of repetitive.
Yes. Yeah.
Same thing with the Chappelle Show.
Yeah.
Always amazing.
Yeah.
Reruns. Boom, boom, boom. I mean, that's a different thing, but like, I went off the rails on that. But
No.
doing something.
You got to keep hammering. If you keep, you keep pushing. You keep pushing.
I watch. Not only do I watch it on TBS, I watch the reruns on Channel 5. It's the same concept as that.
Yeah.
If you just put it in that, if you dribble a basketball every day for an hour, you're gonna get good.
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely. You don't get good at something by not doing it. So, you know, it's at 10,000 hours. It's following your instinct, you know, and unfortunately, I know we're going to get cut off in 4 minutes because that's the way this thing rolls. It cuts you off after an hour. And then when you try to get back on, it won't let you pull.
15 minutes or you're done?
No. Let's keep talking. But I'm just giving you a heads up. It's the end of the rainbow is unfortunately soon, and we definitely need to do this again. But you follow just an instinct that tells you what to do, and you don't question it too much, and you go about it the right way. Your life is a dialogue with the world around you. You can't just do what you want to do. You have to figure out how to do it, and you have to learn. And by the time you learn some stuff, everything sort of lines up and things start to happen. So, you know, I think that
you have to love it.
What the fuck else are you going to do? You were all going to die.
You have to know bullshit. You don't want to go to fucking college. If you do, this ain't the world for you. You don't fucking. It's like college saddles you with a bunch of bullshit debt. You don't work. This is what we love. People will go, what do you do for free time? I'm doing it. I love what I do. I can sit in the all fucking day.
Yeah. No, I agree. I did go to college, but it doesn't really. It taught me a lot, but it doesn't relate too much to what I do now. But you have to find your way. You know, at the time, that's what I wanted to do. That's where my instinct took me, and that's what I did. But anyway, well, so what's next, man? What are you working on right now, other than this great conversation?
Special, because we got about 2 minutes. I had a new special coming out. It's called Stupid Smart.
Okay.
Should be coming out, I don't know, probably early May.
Where?
It's going to be on this app called.
Okay.
It's going to
called
be
what?
Tubi, Tubi, and Tubi is Netflix but with ads. So
okay.
The app. But they're going to make. I'm going to be their first comedy special, and I'm loving them.
Sweet.
But you know, what am I doing? My next, you know, probably the dishes, and then after that, you know, clean the closet, right?
Go find another bone to milk for broth.
Dude, bro, I fucking love you. People, I didn't even let you talk because you asked me these deep questions.
No, it's great.
I want to do more of these.
Let's do it. You know, we'll figure it out. We'll text or something. But yeah, man, I loved working with you, and you know, you're just you know what you are, Jamie. You work hard. You're funny as shit, and you're a fucking great guy. And that's the honest truth. And that goes a long way in life. I mean, you're good to people, and that shit pays off.
Well, dude, I feel the same way about you, dude. You're one of the few people that I can say anything to.
Yeah.
And you don't, you know, I mean, dude, I have some of we laugh a lot. We got to
absolutely. Absolutely.
You're hilarious.
Fuck.
And you get it. You don't overthink shit.
Right. You just do it, man. And this thing's gonna cut us off in like 20 seconds. But I think you're freaking great, and love you, man. And let's do it again soon, and maybe even talk outside of this.
Okay.
All right. Jamie Kennedy, thanks so much, buddy. And I'll be on tomorrow night with Rich Appel, who you remember from Cleveland, and then on Thursday, Adrian Palicki and